Good Friday, everyone. Thanks for stopping by Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith on this chilly Friday, the 16th, the halfway mark of January 2015. Waking up on your way out the door this morning, generally clear to partly cloudy skies across the region. Temperatures are generally running into the lower 30s in Central Park at 31, LaGuardia 33, Kennedy 31. 25 at Teterboro, and Newark it's at 27 with partly cloudy skies. Up on Long Island, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy. Temperatures are all around 30 to 32 degrees. White Plains up the Hudson Valley and Newburgh, Montgomery, Poughkeepsie, and Albany, all temperatures are in the mid to the upper 20s with clear to cloudy skies. The further north you go, the clouds increase as an Arctic front is moving in towards the region. The winds are still southwest ahead of it. And basically up in New Jersey, we have basically clear to partly cloudy skies and temperatures running anywhere from the upper teens. Right now at Andover at 19, up to around 27 at Newark International Airport this morning. Morning surface chart from weatheroanoke.com and digital atmosphere software shows the Arctic front on our back doorstep and snow breaking out across that downwind of Lake Erie, and this cold air will be moving in our direction during this afternoon. So the warmest temperatures are right now, and then the winds are really going to start to increase, and the wind chills will increase during the afternoon hours as well. Watching warnings and advisories, we have them for the sea areas here, the coastal areas. We have small craft advisories for the New Jersey coastal waters down to the Delmarva and the Back Bays. From now until around 5 a.m. on Saturday for all of the region. Northwest winds at 15 to 20 knots, gust up to 30 knots, seas 3 to 6 feet. Strongest winds late this afternoon and evening with isolated gale gusts possible. Some light freezing spray tonight and Saturday morning. For the Long Island coastal waters from Sandy Hook out to Montauk Point here, we have a small craft advisory in effect until 10 a.m. Saturday. West winds 15 to 25 knots, gust up to 30 knots, occasional gusts 35 knots late this afternoon and evening, seas 4 to 8 feet. Highest will be east. Strongest winds and highest seas expected this evening. While we expect the seas to ramp down during the day on Saturday below small craft advisories, we're going to increase them again during the evening on Saturday night and overspread the region to near small craft advisory conditions once again. Sunday and Monday seas will start to build Sunday and exceed 5 feet by Sunday afternoon and evening. The seas will remain elevated through Monday night before falling to small craft advisory levels again. With gusty winds, especially on Monday, and gusts above 25 knots, winds will start to diminish again late on Monday. And on Tuesday, both winds and seas should fall below small craft advisories. For the aviational weather deck today, basically VFR, scattered to broken ceilings at or above 4,500 feet. West winds gusting to 20 knots this morning, shifting to the northwest after the frontal passage, gust 25 to 35 knots during this afternoon. Brief IFR conditions expected in scattered snow showers over the Poconos. Basically from noon to early this afternoon. Elsewhere, virga, which is precipitation not reaching the ground, especially this afternoon. Possible flurry downwind of Reading and Allentown, but temperature dew point spreads of 20 degrees Fahrenheit may prevent the flurry occurrence from occurring, so then it's called Sinerga. Tonight, VFR clear, northwest gusty winds around 20 knots through midnight, then diminishing late. VFR conditions expected on Saturday. Sunday, VFR early, then becoming MVFR, possibly IFR in rain, snow showers, south winds 5 to 10 knots. Monday, mainly VFR conditions expected, a chance for some snow showers or rain showers early north and west of Philadelphia. Gusty northwest winds at 10 to 15 knots and gust up to 20 to 25 knots with higher winds towards the east. Tuesday, VFR conditions expected, light westerly winds. Right now outside of Newark, it's 27, dew point 18, humidity 68%. The wind is southwest at 12, overcast conditions at 10,000 with a few clouds, wind chill around 16. The story for today will be the increasing northwesterly winds gusting to 30 to 35 miles per hour on the tarmacs late this afternoon. Philadelphia's in VFR right now, 29. Dew point 23, humidity 78%. The wind is southwest at 12, visibility 10 miles, fair skies, clear. Wind chill 19 degrees. Again, the story today will be the shifting winds to the northwest, gusting up to around 30 knots on the tarmacs late this afternoon and early evening. Namor 4-kilometer precipitation type and cloud cover forecast from Penn State's eWall site shows the clear sky over the region this morning, and then stratocumulus clouds build in ahead and along the Arctic front that's passing through. Could be some snow plumes in the flow that reach into the Poconos and extreme northwestern New Jersey, and those may drift a little bit towards the south and east through the morning and early afternoon hours before that breaks up, and just a cold dome with clearing skies and high pressure in control, but cold air mass and gusty north to northwesterly winds and wind chills dropping into the teens and below zero by tomorrow morning. And we begin with this weekend with dry, cold air in place on Saturday, Arctic high pressure in control of the region, and then a storm system across the Great Lakes moves into Ontario and southeastern Canada, drives the cold front through the region. Thicknesses begin to rise a little bit. A coastal storm begins to develop on the southern flank of the energy here along the Carolina coast, and then it moves in our direction on Sunday. Now, the difference is here is the European model guidance continues most of the precipitation along the coast, but interior sections also see precipitation with the European model guidance. The Canadian model guidance, the GFS, and the NAM forecast to be this much more warmer and along the immediate coast. So we're not really forecasting much precipitation over the interior, even though we're looking at the European model guidance this morning as well. The National Weather Service is looking at this as well, and there could be some freezing precipitation in the morning on Sunday across the interior here, especially northwestern New Jersey and the Poconos, but right now that looks like it might be more of an outlier rather than the actual forecast. And when the precipitation does come in, it's going to be primarily rain, and the further east you are along the coast, that's where the impacts of the heaviest precipitation will be. As far as temperatures go, from the NAM WRF 4 kilometer product here, here's our cold front coming through. Temperatures drop down into the single digits and teens tonight across the interior, so you're going to need to bundle up. The winds are going to be howling. They'll probably die off a little bit late tonight, but still they're going to produce wind chill values below zero in many of the interior locations. And by tomorrow morning, temperatures will struggle to get from the teens into the 20s, and by the afternoon hours that will do so. Temperatures will rise on Sunday morning from the teens into the 20s ahead of warm air advection and the coastal storm developing off the Carolina coast. Temperatures will struggle from the upper 20s over the interior. And this is where the problem comes in. If the NAM is actually a little bit further to east with the precipitation, some frozen precipitation may start out initially in the morning and then work its way into the region during the afternoon hours, but most of this looks like a rain event for the entire forecast region, especially right along New York City and points south and east. Latest model GFS run, precipitation type and thicknesses from tropicaltidbits.com, Levi Cohen's site. And we can see that the cold air will be moving through. Not everybody's going to see snow showers here, just a few areas, especially to the north and west of Poconos and Hudson Valley region. The main story is the cold air that's coming in with the Arctic high pressure that's building in across Ontario and southeastern Canada. That moves over the forecast region on Saturday and Saturday night, keeps us in a very cold dome with generally dry conditions and cold Arctic air. Temperatures probably not getting out of the 20s tomorrow in many interior locations. Here's the storm in question for Sunday. This is an area of low pressure across the Ontario moving towards the Great Lakes, and then a new low center beginning to form right along the Carolina coast. Now, the main story here is that this begins to weaken. This becomes the primary storm. The GFS continues on the last several runs to keep this as a coastal thing and just continues to move the precipitation off of the mid-Atlantic coast states. And that has been the consensus of the CMC model and to some extent the NAM model as well. The only outlier here would be the European model, which takes this precipitation shield a little bit further inland. Regardless, it's going to be a raw day on Sunday, and rain will be extending the further east you go, especially along the coast and into central and eastern Long Island. This is where periods and pockets of moderate to heavy rain will fall. That will move off the coast, even as the trough becomes negatively tilted. More high pressure building in across the region for Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, Monday, and Monday night. Next system in question is a Clipper system. And again, most of the modeling probably north of 80, around 78 here, could find some light snow breaking out late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, and that could be mixed with a little ice pellets over the interior sections north of 80 here and into the Hudson River Valley and out into northeastern New England here as the low, it's a weak low, Clipper system moves through the region. And more high pressure builds across the region. And then here comes another system here for the later part of the week. Again, high pressure, cold air in place, and really going to be below average temperatures. Here's another scenario where one wave of low pressure moves off the coast and continues eastbound, and a second wave along the boundary continues to move up and then out over sea. So latest model guidance is going to be a little tricky putting all of this together, as some of the blocking teleconnections here in the northern Atlantic switch from negative to positive during this time phase and then back to negative again. So it's an active pattern and one that will have to be watched, but it doesn't look to me like there's going to be much precipitation in the region outside of Sunday at this point, but the cold air will definitely be locked up in place. Now, by the time we get to the later part of the month, this is where the models have been indicating a flip-flop in the teleconnections and also the connection between the polar and subtropical jet, with the storm system off the mid-Atlantic coast states by Tuesday, the 27th. That could start off with snow on the colder sector, rain on the southeast and east sector of the storm, and then everything could begin to wrap around and become just mainly snow. This would be our primary area here where during this month where we might see something significant across the entire forecast region. Although I have to say that that doesn't even look significant to me as well. And more cold, high pressure builds in, warm air advection builds in for the later part of the week, and then we get more isentropic lift and another rainstorm moving into the metropolitan area by the end of January. So all of this really hinges on the fact whether we're going to see some kind of blocking mechanisms here. Nothing really looks strong to me in the signaling, and so therefore the forecast is rather blah if you're looking for significant winter storms on the East Coast. So for everything live, it's Garden State Weather and gardenstateweather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You make it a good weekend, and we'll be back bright and early on Monday morning.